Hey, good afternoon. Absolutely. I'm getting ready to test it right now, so I'm going to break this up into two parts because I want you to kind of see the process that I use. I'm going to show you because I think the Equip Settler DLL needs to be Equip Settlers DLL, so I'm going to show you the process that I'm using. And then the second video, I'm actually going to do the test. So we'll fire it off, and I'll make sure that the DLL is loading. So up here in this particular interface, this is my interface. So you can see what I was showing you earlier. Anytime there's an orange entry up in here, you can scroll over it. It'll tell you what the problem is. Okay, it didn't load. So we know that. We know the previous version doesn't load. So I'm going to install the new version, but I believe I need to rename it. So let me show you what I did. So in the setup, in the actual process, the testing setup, I went to the website and I downloaded the latest version, which is 02. Okay, and you can see that here. This is the latest version down here that's in blue. And I can highlight things. It's just a, like I say, it's just a function. I can highlight, de-highlight. It helps me, because this, like I say, this tool was designed to help other people, not just mod games. All right, so I do have it down here. And what I can do is I can do a check install, and it basically compares the files to what's currently installed. Yellow means they're different. You can see there, so that's correct. Everything, in other words, everything changed. Whether it was a failed data, a sampling check means the file was the same, but the data changed, same size, but the data inside the file changed. That's the sampling. The sampling is not perfect. It's not quite like an AE5 or an AES. It's not quite like that, but it is a sample. It's a random sample or a fixed sample at particular points, depending on how big you want the sample. But that's I'll explain all that stuff much later. But it just samples it, or it says it's obviously if the size is different, it's a different file. So they're all different. And I can verify that by going over here to look at Equip Settlers, which is this entry right here. And what I can do is I'm going to de-highlight this. And then what I can do is I can go over here and I can say I want to find the mod associated with that plugin, and it highlighted it. And then I can go into that and I can say check install. And this is the new version, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an update. I'm going to update existing files. So everything that changed, you can now see they're replaced. So, and this, the application does allow for symlinks. Folder junctions are not in there yet. I've got other things I need to do first. So let me take this out so it doesn't distract. All right, so so you can see that this is now the current version that's installed. So when I looked, I seen the name of the DLL is Equip Settler. See, Equip Settlers, it's plural. So I wanted to make sure, because I'm thinking, okay, you know, because when I actually did the check, it said it was different. But when I went over to the patch, if I do a check install, it says the patch. See how I installed it, but it didn't replace. So I'm like, okay, there's a problem here. So then I went to, I thought, well, something happened. So I go over here to check and see this is actually my game folder. So you can see that I now have two DLLs. See, a Settlers, and it looks like the one, the plugin that came with the package is plural. So I'm going to delete this. We're just going to go in and directly delete this. I can uninstall it. I can do that. That'd be fine. I can actually go in and just uninstall the mod because it actually put the, let's do an uninstall here. And you'll actually see where it deleted the file. So the file is now gone. So what I need to do is I need to change the name of that. So let me open the location of this file, which is the actual mod file, and we're going to rename it. Because I was thinking, wait a minute, it says it wasn't installed, and I actually been making changes to my programs. I thought, okay, it's not installed. So what's up? Was it something I did? And then I actually did install, and I checked. Okay, where's it putting it? Put it in the right place. So now I should be able to go in and do a check, and it should say, oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah, no, it's going to work. But what it is, I forgot I buffered the directory. So I actually buffer the directory, and there is a function I got built in to do that. So let me just try this. Hang on a second. Let me just try to do a direct merge. Let's see what happens. Alright, so that's exactly what it should say, because it's different. So let's try an update. That should update the file. There we go. So uninstall. So let's go to the install report. It replaced the plugin, so we're good. Sorry for the confusion, but yeah, to actually speed things along, because I have this particular interface handles tens of thousands of files. It's not just designed for a handful of files. And I've got, and again, it's not really about my application right now. I want to test yours, but it's this one right here. I've got 21,000 files in now. I had up to like 60, but I've already backed a bunch of them off. So I've got archives behind me, and then I've got a NAS box, so that way I can retain previous versions in case somebody needs something like, okay, you know, this previous version, I can't find it, you know, hey, I got it, no problem. All right. But I don't really host them because that's not my intent. All right, so we're good. So this is now installed. So what I want to do is I'm going to fire off my program, and when I do, F4SC should load this plugin right here. This one should be loaded. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So let's go ahead and launch the game. And this is a new game I started. Let's see. Oh, I added Equip Settlers back in. So I'll show you that real quick. And that way you can completely see the process that I'm using. Because I know a lot of times when people try to mod something or they try to test something, it gets confusing because it's like, well, I don't know what somebody else did. So it basically says the load order changed, and I put this in there intentionally, so whenever you launch the game, it tells you what the actual load order is. And then if you look at the manifest, if we go down to the bottom, you can see where I installed things, and I added Equip Settler. And the reason I wanted to do this is because if it crashes for some reason, I can go over to here and I can overlay the manifest on top of, these are my game sessions. So all of these were installed before I started this new game, but you'll be able to see how during my playthrough on this load order, I've already made some changes. So it tells you the changes that I did. So that's a replace file. This is where I added something. So that's how you can see that works. And that was designed so I could test things, or anyone with this program can test things, because that's what it was designed for. All right, so I got the game up. I don't think this will update. I don't remember, but we'll try to update it. I don't think it'll update just yet. So what we're going to do is, I think it updates after it exits out, because it has to read the papyrus log, I think. I could be mistaken, but let's see if we can get back over to Fallout 4 here. There's just something wonky. Bethesda is really funny about how they handle programs. Like, it's just weird. They just don't seem to handle full screens very well. Alright, so this is my current game. So far, it is crash-free. I've been working through a lockup, which I think is a conflict between floating damage and perhaps Chemfluence or something else. There's something that's a soft lock. I thought it was maybe a combat condition lock. But that DLL, either that DLL doesn't work, it flat out doesn't work, or it's not a combat condition lock I'm getting. But that's a completely separate test than what we're talking about. Okay, so I do have the game up. We're here in this particular thing. So let's save it. All right, let's exit back out. And we can actually look at the log. So, and this janks out because for some reason the game likes to set, or AMD likes to set, for some reason it sets the lower resolution, which literally wipes the windows out. So we'll just dock them all back. Okay, so let's refresh this. If not, we can try something else here. So, and this doesn't necessarily mean, it says it's still not doing it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it didn't load. So what we're gonna do here is, I don't want to edit the file. Let's open the location here. So let's see. Let's start with this, and then let's verify that I do have the correct version. Alright, so let's do a properties, and let's look at details. Okay, so that is product version, Equip Settler CL. Okay. That's fine. I'm assuming that is the 9.6 version, date modified. Okay. That should be the correct version. Now, to rule this out as being where it simply didn't update, I don't think that's the case. But let's go over here to the Papyrus log. So let's see. I don't think I have much here. See, this is the, let's see if it's in this one. So let's bring up the Papyrus log and let's take a look at, I think it was bind. Is that a keyword? I don't see bind in here. Hang on, let's do a find. Bind. Unbound. Okay, let's see what this is. Error. Unbound native function. Get on hit type. That's probably going to be something... Yeah, that's from better locational damage. So that is not, has nothing to do with yours. Okay, so... let me think here. I don't think I can actually redo this. We can try to... let's see. Buff out. History. Manage plugins. Alright. It still says it's not loading. So what I need to do is just take a look at the log. Let's take a look at the log here. So what I need to find is... find F4SE. Alright, here we go. Here's the log. No, not that one. That's not the one I want. Let's go to the next one. Alright. So it's not Mentats. Here we go. In the recent. F4SC is what we want. So let's go ahead and open the log. This should be my current log. And what we're looking for is... oops, let's do a find. Equip settler. Okay, so... it looks like it's, for some reason, it still doesn't want to load that DLL. I'm not sure why. My F4SC version is 0.72 or 0.72. It's the 7.2 version. What we can do is I can actually show you that. So, yeah, that I'm not sure. But let me show you something. We're going to do this really interesting test. So what I'm going to do is let's see if my program, we're gonna see if it actually picks up. So let's just do let me think about this before I do it. So so I don't know if the name actually matters, so let's copy. All right, and let's paste it right back into here. Okay, so it's going to give it a new name. So we got Equip Settlers copy. Okay, so it looks like up here, if you look, a Quick Settlers copy, my program did pick up. It's brand new. So let's go in and let's fire the game off again, and let's see if it flags that one. We're going to look that one up in the log, and that way we know it's completely unique. Because like I say, I'm not sure what's up with that. Let's go ahead and free this up because it's going to try to update all this. But yeah, I collect a lot of metrics. I've got more metrics I'm going to collect. There's more I've got scheduled to do. Lots of debugging and all that kind of stuff. You know how that goes. God knows there's a lot of stuff that doesn't even work because it's buggy as squat. All right, so let's go back in. So hopefully this will run, and F4SE should see a DLL in the plugins directory, and it should try and load it. So let's see if it loads. Now, if it loads, I'm going to cut the video short and see if I can figure out exactly what happened between the two versions, because it should see I've made an exact same copy of the file as you saw, and we're just going to run the game. So we're going to let the game load. We're going to exit back out, and then we'll save it. It'll create another save. That'll be another session. It's a save session. So we'll do another save session, and then we will take a look at that. We'll look at we'll look at the Papyrus log to see if there's any unequips, because I saw no unequips, but then again, there is no chest here. I have put no chest down. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and go into, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go into workshop mode. Oh my gosh, I forget where you put them. I think you put them in furniture. Is it containers? Mods. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's drop this, and hopefully, therefore, this will, we're going to drop this, I don't know if it's set up. I don't know if it has a default yet. So let me move this. Let me make this a little bit cleaner here. And let's go ahead and put this, because they sleep in here. So let's drop this here. I don't have a terminal. I don't know if I need a terminal. Let's go ahead and open this up and get the tape. All right, so there's our tape. We got our control tape. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to do a reset just in case. So since we're here, let me go ahead and locate a terminal. Let's hope they don't go completely berserk. Before we do that, let me make sure I TGM this so I don't get wiped in the process. There's no telling what's, because I got not so many mods, but I do have some. I am running Scourge, so when they come in, they're gonna go nuts. All right, so let's try. Don't want that. Let's try power. I think it's under miscellaneous terminals, but don't quote me on it. If it's not here, if it's not under USO, it's gonna be over here in this power option. All right, so we want, I think it's, there we go, terminals. That's rearranged. I don't want managers. I want one of these puppies. Oh, fine. Oh, there's one with a desk. I don't want a desk, guys. I just want a terminal by itself. Can I not get a terminal? Oh, my God. All right, so give me a second to process. I think it's under decorations. Miscellaneous, maybe? Maybe under business? Electronics, radios, television, consoles. I think it's under consoles. No, not consoles. Miscellaneous. Oh my God, I just used one. I know it's not barrels. It's electronics. Televisions? No. Oh my God, man. Okay. I am at a loss here, so fine, let's go this way. If it's not there, then let's try this. Decorations, decals, barrels, TVs, and terminals. God, you figured by now I'd be used to this. All right, let's see. Terminals. There we go. This is what I want. Get away from me, dude. All right, let's see. Hang on a second. Yeah, I have no idea what they're talking about. All right, so let's go up here. All right, so let's go ahead and get our terminal. Let's add our tape. I want to load holotape. We're going to load the ES control tape. Okay, let's get it loaded. And then let's do a filter. Let's leave the filter off for now. You said we want to reset all settlers. I got the defaults, so let's go ahead and do this. Reset all settlers' equipment. Okay. All right, we've done that. Let's take a look. Where you guys at? Okay, I'm pretty sure they're still going to have their gear because the DLL is not loading. Okay, that's fine. Let's take a look at the chest. Gear is not there. All right, so that's fine. So that's what we figured because the DLL wasn't loading. All right, so let's save the game back. And that's going to give me a session we can directly get to. Let's quit the desktop. And it's going to wonk out the window. So let's let the application update all the metrics and data. And then we will redock it. Okay, we've redocked it. It'll pop up. There's the sessions are going to pop up over here, but what I'm looking for is down here. So this gives me a window into Papyrus. So let's look at the window here. And I don't see anything. See, I don't see anything about being unbound. I don't see anything because it looks like it's the same BLD stuff. And I find that interesting. Let's try this. Let's take a look at this. I don't see anything there. Like I say, it was weird because I didn't really see anything one time, and then magically all of a sudden I saw it, which was odd. So I don't know if it checks for the DL or not, right? So it looks like that it loaded it. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Now that's if we're going by this. But like I say, this may not even be updated. All right, so let's go take a look and see, because this could be something on my end, and that's why I'll take time to figure it out, and I wanted you to see how I did it. All right, so let's take a look at logs, and let's go back to the F4SC, since we just updated it here. Let's see. So let's go ahead and open log, and let's take a look at copy. This one's going to be good sized. I think that's the only one there I have. Wish there's a way to edit that, but I don't think there is. Will it let me open it? right, if that doesn't work, we're going to do it like this. Okay, I don't think it's in use, although it might be. Okay, so let's take a look at F4SE log. F4SE log 0. Okay, I think it's, here we go. We want this. Okay, so yeah, see, look, take a look. See where it says plugin equip settlers copy, no version data. So it's not, so that is correct. It wasn't, that is for some reason, I'll have to take a look at why this didn't update. Maybe I think I have to run it again. I think it's a function I do whenever the game is loaded because it doesn't load the papyrus. I'll have to figure out what that function is and simply call it. It'll be real easy to do once I know what function I call because everything is based on opcodes or function codes. So this did not get updated. That's why this is not showing in orange. But if when you take a look at the actual log here, the F4SE log, you can see that for some reason the copy that I made, I wanted to make sure there was absolutely no questions, so you know that I didn't make a mistake. So you can see where the copy still doesn't load, and of course the original is still there. I don't think there'll be a conflict. I don't think anything like that. So it didn't even, neither one of them are loaded. See where it says no version data? So it's still not loading. I wish I could help. I don't know that much about F4SE plugins. I'm not really sure about why. You know, I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd have to see the source code. I'm not a C# programmer. My programming goes back quite a ways, but I've never done assembly on an x86. I used to do it on the old 68,000 series and the old 6800. Well, 6802, I want to say, way back in the Ataris years ago. I've done those. So, but I've never done any x86, so I don't have any C#. I used to have a program called Action back then. It was kind of like a C kind of a language where it groups structures. But yeah, so I'm not really sure. So that one didn't load. If we can get it to load and we can verify, because do check the log. It is the correct log. It's not the 0 or 1 log. And it is coming from my actual games folder where it was stored. So, all right, so there's your test. And just let me know if, you know, when you're ready to test another one. I'll be here all day. I'll actually be here the whole weekend. So just let me know, and I will see what I can do. All right? So good luck, and like I say, holler if you need anything else.